It is time indeed for another episode of the Entrepreneurial You podcast, and I am your host, Henika Watkis-Porter. I am the host, the creator, the producer, all that and more. And I want to welcome back all my listeners who have been tuning in frequently, as well as those joining online during the um, recent phase of doing live podcast recordings. So welcome back to you. And if this is your very first time, where have you been all this time, right? We have missed you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, last week I had an interesting conversation with Ted Clark, a businessman, entrepreneur, investor with several years, in fact, over 4 decades of experience as a senior executive in public and private equity owned specialty chemicals company. And that was an interesting conversation because we really talked about the fact that you can establish a winning global business through private equity. That's what we dwell on. This week, we're dwelling on something totally different. I'm excited as I'm going to be having a conversation with a SaaS founder, which is software as a service founder, and a business consultant specializing in operations and processes optimization. Of course, before she comes in and share her good stuff with us, which I'm sure she's excited to do, I must thank the Jamaica Stock Exchange, who has been our long-standing partner on this podcast. So let's take a listen from them. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. My guest on episode 304 of the Entrepreneurial You is Irina Poddubnaia. Irina is a SaaS founder, and as I explained earlier, software as a service founder, and a business consultant specializing in operations and processes optimization. Irina has over 8 years of experience in e-commerce with its different challenges and obstacles, from running a fulfillment center in China where she lived for over 2 years, launching her software TrackMage or TrackMage. She's going to pronounce it properly for me. So TrackMage allows e-commerce stores 5 to 10% extra sales by simplifying the customer experience. And with this software, the customers can track their products on the platform, and the system does the upsell and then automatic follow-ups for reviews. And that sounds like a perfect system that all businesses could take advantage of. Welcome, welcome, Irina.
Yeah, welcome for. I mean, like, thank you for warm welcome. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk about all the interesting stuff we have to talk. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
right, and just to clarify, like it's TrackMage.
Mage. Yes.
Yes, originally it was TrackMagic, but when
Mm-hmm.
we realized that the .com was not available, so we had to change it, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how it became TrackMage,
Okay.
which probably wasn't such a great idea because a lot of people have trouble pronouncing.
Mage or
Uh,
mage, depending on
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
English
yeah,
that
yeah,
you use. So it's mage, like major, track mage. Okay.
yeah.
So now that we got that out of the way, I oftentimes baptize my guests, my foreign guests, with the question, "What do you know about Jamaican culture?"
Well, I guess I don't know much. Just really that.
Wrong answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the wrong answer, I believe. Just like yeah, never googled. But I would say,
You don't have no Jamaican friends. I feel so disappointed. Like, oh my gosh, the conversation just.
yeah,
Okay, where in the world are you joining me from today, Arino?
I'm joining from Bulgaria, and what do you know about Bulgarian culture?
Ah! No, no, I am the one doing the interview. No, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. But then again, like that question, like, do you even like that just puts you on the
Bulgaria,
spot, you
Bulgaria.
know?
Okay, so it's a
Yeah,
part of Europe. I know that
yeah,
much.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah, it's part of Europe. I haven't been there. I've been to well, not many, a few of the European countries, but haven't been to Bulgaria yet. Perhaps you can invite me up to do some stuff. Who knows about that? All right, so let's move on from all of this and get ourselves out of this geographical faux pas.
Yeah. Well, I guess the next station would be China, just because that's the fascinating turn of events. Like, how did I end up in China? And then, like,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Because you ran a fulfillment center in China, right? And I've been to China, so yay,
yeah,
loved it. Love
right.
the food. As usual, I'm a foodie, so I'm gonna love food anywhere. So I don't know, but right. So tell me about from Bulgaria to China, how you ended up with a fulfillment company, fulfillment
Yeah.
center in China.
Well, actually, it was just an interesting idea that we explored as this. Like, if we wanted to start a business, we should start a business with some kind of like competitive advantage. And
Mm-hmm.
we thought that if we go to China, we will probably find the cheapest, like the cheapest suppliers, the best products, like cheaper iPhones. That was the I guess it was the dream. And
Mm-hmm.
then, well, none of that happened, just because when we came to China, we just ran into the cultural wall, because like we didn't speak Chinese, we didn't know what to do, and we didn't have customers at that point. So we found a lot of suppliers, but we needed customers to make sales, and that's how it all started. Yeah. Well, and then, like, during those 2.5 years, we did figure out how to get customers online, and how to help retailers actually buy products from China and then sell it to their customers. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And so setting up, I mean, you make it sound so easy, you know what I mean? But setting up all of that logistically, you don't speak Mandarin, you don't speak Chinese,
yeah.
um, and you're in Bulgaria and you're now deciding, okay, I'm doing this. How did that come about? I mean, just walk us through the logistical challenges, language barriers, cultural barriers that you had to overcome and navigate.
Yeah. Well, it just started really, really straightforwardly. We just booked the tickets, we booked the hotel room, we came to China, we looked out of the window, we saw a lot of skyscrapers. And when we realized we are no longer in Bulgaria. We're no longer in Kansas. Like, like it's just like, oh my god, like this is like totally different world. When
Yes.
we went, like the first day is unforgettable, because we went out because we were starving, we wanted to eat something. We went to the nearby cafe, and everything was with characters, like, yeah. And we just pointed at the dish that we thought was noodles, but it turned out it was a potato salad, but from raw potatoes, which wasn't very tasty, and like it wasn't very nutritious even. And yeah, and from there on, we just started figuring stuff out. Like, from the hotel room, we rented the apartment, we moved to the apartment. During the second week in China, we bought a scooter just to mix up with locals and just to go around. So
Mm-hmm.
electrical bikes, they are very popular in China, and some of them are not, like, nothing to write home about, because it's just literally literally, I don't know, like, I don't know if they are created from scraps even, or they are self-made electric bikes or electric scooters, but it does look like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and like the majority of time, we were just literally trying to communicate with the locals, and the most important part was when we figured out that everything was happening online. So we started ordering the goods from local platforms like Taobao or Alibaba. Actually, Alibaba in Chinese is Iliu Baba, which is 16688. Sorry,
Ah.
1688.
Mm-hmm.
So Alibaba, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have anything in common with the
With
actual.
Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
Yes, yes, but exactly. The actual fairy tale. It's just like
Yes.
Iliu Baba, which
Yeah.
means like 1688. That's the
Yes.
number
Well,
of that platform.
believe me, you just made a big clarification there because many of us would have grown up, and I'm aging myself for those, who grew up in the Caribbean and know about that story, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. So when Alibaba.com came, I mean, of course, I didn't even bother to research the name or anything. All that kept reverberating in my mind is that story from the fable, the fable there, Alibaba and the
Yeah.
40 Thieves. So it has nothing to do with that. So yeah.
Yes, it has nothing to do with that, but it gives them some kind of bad reputation by default because, like,
Mm-hmm.
you come to
Yeah,
Alibaba and you come to the thieves because we are there, like a supply.
absolutely.
Yeah, but
Yes,
then
yes.
again, it's just how it is,
Mm-hmm.
and we were that kind of mitigator, the intermediary that helped actually buy the goods and make sure that those goods were the right quality, right sizes, and they actually were in the right
Okay.
quantity. So we just made sure that everything matched to the
Right.
order.
Because part of the challenge with persons buying overseas from Alibaba, China, the size, first of all, the sizes are so different. I've had situations where I had a factory in China made some stuff for me, and
Yeah.
boy, when they came back, they were so small, right? So,
Mm,
um, the problem is trying to navigate, or the challenges, I don't use the word problem, the challenge is trying to navigate what is ordered versus what is shipped. And so that's where you would have come in to make sure that the specification match, because you understand the language, you understand the size chart or whatever it is. So that's
yeah,
that,
and I'm
mhm.
physically there, but
And you're physically there.
I
Okay.
was, yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
I mean, you were, but you no longer do that
Yeah.
company, which is sad, because then I was thinking, oh, I could have used your service.
Well, I guess that service is kind of on the very surface of doing commerce. So you are
Mm-hmm.
literally near the source of all products in the world, and then you just offer to order those products.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we started. But then
Mm-hmm.
again, when you are selling everything to everyone, you are literally missing out on a lot of opportunities. You literally have to compete with AliExpress or
Yeah,
Amazon,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is which is an which is a really challenging battle, if just to think about it, because we didn't have any funding, we didn't have any backup. It just was us versus the world. We
Mm-hmm.
survived, which is good,
Yeah,
which
you
is the
survived.
great outcome of that. And
Mm-hmm.
the other part was that we actually learned how the business should operate. Because previously, when I was working in a business as an employee, I thought that I knew everything. When I started my own, I realized like I didn't know anything, at least
Mm-hmm.
nothing about sales, marketing, or all the other necessary setups. But even just accepting the money was challenging because when you're in China and you just have your, I don't know, like debit card,
Mm-hmm.
so as a physical person, what can you do? So we had to open the company, we had to deal with all the paperwork, all the intricacies of setting up a company. When we had to rent a warehouse, when we even like
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
And then you moved on to creating your own software,
Mm,
TrackMage.
yeah.
No, and that's under the category software as a service. So first of all, tell us about the concept of software as a service. What's that really?
Well, again, just to reiterate, when we were fulfilling those orders, when we were communicating with the customers, we realized that not everything can be done by hand. So
Mm-hmm.
we had to implement a lot of automation for ourselves. And once we left China, when like we were no longer physically there, we were left with a system. And that's the system that was the cornerstone or the beginning of TrackMage. Because we realized that some of those challenges, or most of those challenges that we had to deal with personally, other e-commerce entrepreneurs, they also have those challenges. So that's why we started probably from the wrong side because we had a lot of challenges with fulfillment ourselves. But in our heads, that was an already checkbox. We already implemented everything we needed. But then there was another part in the business that the customers, they were impatient and they were reaching out to us at the most inconvenient times, like at night, because during
The
Chinese.
time difference, yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because of the time difference. And sometimes that even resulted in some refunds or chargeback requests just because the customer was very impatient and they were trying to get the answer like right away. So that's how we realized that there was this gap of communication that needs to be mitigated. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's exactly what TrackMage does. It mitigates the long shipping times. For example, if you are shipping from China or if your supplier is not going to provide the goods for who knows how long, that might be a solution, because once you start communicating with the customer and proactively updating them about the whereabouts of their parcel, you are you're creating the goodwill, and you are actually preventing a lot of issues that the anxious customer who's waiting and who doesn't know what to do is going to create, if they don't receive any information. So yeah, just to give you an example, so TrackMage is not even that. So remember how you order the goods on Amazon. So once you click the buy button, then they notify you, and there is a page that your product is coming on this date, and then they show you how the package is traveling, and then they ask you to leave a review in the end. So all this experience is called the post purchase. It's after the purchase. So what TrackMage is and what it does is we take this experience and make it available on other platforms that are not Amazon based. So Shopify, WooCommerce, ClickFunnels, whatever you're using. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, I'm listening. But I still want you to come back to, I mean, I understand all of that, but I still want you to come back to just the concept itself as software as a service for those who hear the term and want to, when you say software as a service, when you say SaaS, what do you mean?
Uh,
So, yeah, I want you to address that.
Well, software as a service is literally what it is. It's software that is provided on a subscription basis, where you pay for using it, and once you stop paying, that is no longer there. So
Right.
it's not a downloadable plugin. It's not a desktop software, but once you download it, it's there and it's working. Again, most of the desktop apps right now, we're also introducing the subscription. So, for example, with Photoshop or with Excel, or the whole Microsoft Word, you can download the app, but you cannot use it without the subscription. That's
Right.
how everyone is trying to transition into subscription-based models.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right.
And so there's no freemium model worth the use. So there's no free portion. It's completely prescription subscription based.
That's not always the case. I
No, I'm
mean, with
asking you as in your case with the TrackMage.
in TrackMage, we do have a forever free plan with
Mm-hmm.
100 packages per month. So if you're just starting and you don't know, like, are you going to make money or not with your store, you can sign up for TrackMage and then eliminate a lot of operational expenses or operational deficiencies. So you can track all the packages, you can proactively pull up with the customers, you can get extra sales from those existing customers.
Mm-hmm.
And up to 100 packages per month, it's 100% free.
But that's excellent, and we want to talk more about that. But before we do all of that, let me just share with my viewing public, my audience, my viewing audience, as well as those who will listen to the podcast after the fact, that the Entrepreneurial You Facebook group is about to start doing stuff again, getting active. So if you're an entrepreneur, entrepreneurially minded, if you know somebody who is in entrepreneurship and you want to even encourage somebody to be in entrepreneurship, then sign up and have them sign up to the group as well. Just search for it on Facebook, The Entrepreneurial You. Send me a request and I will accept you, and we take it from there. We're going to be doing some awesome stuff in that group again, perhaps hosting some masterminds and doing some giveaways and some free things that you won't get outside of the group. All right. So I look forward to seeing you joining the Entrepreneurial You Facebook group. We are close to 300 members strong already, and we are going to start making it work for us. All right, so let's continue, Irina. It's been good talking with you thus far, all the way straight out of Bulgaria. I know the time for you is, what time is it now, by the way? We are having this conversation.
So
It's almost 1:30 in Jamaica, 1:30 p.m. What time is it in Bulgaria now?
in Bulgaria, it's 8:30. So it's the end of the
PM.
day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
night. Yeah,
PM. Yeah,
yeah,
8:30 PM.
it's night there. So yes, and I love the internet because we can talk cross borders, and make it work over time zones and so on and so forth. So awesome. So let's continue, because what TrackMage is really is about, or really is about systemizing your business, right?
Yes.
It's about systemizing your business, and in order for us to
I,
accomplish
I
individually
would
and
say,
mm-hmm,
yeah, I would say it's not just about systematizing your business, it's
mm-hmm,
about freedom. So
freedom,
just like getting free from all the
mm-hmm,
routine stuff that is piling up, that is just like draining all
draining
the
your
creative
energy.
juices.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes,
If you're
yes.
working alone, and that's what was happening in China, we were just like two people
Mm-hmm,
against hundreds of packages.
mm-hmm.
So you have to automate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to hire a lot of people. But
Mm-hmm.
hiring a lot of people comes with the wages, so it's not that sustainable. So with automation, you are actually saving a lot on paychecks, I believe,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and managing of all those people, because people make mistakes. Automation doesn't make mistakes that often.
No,
But I
no,
wouldn't say like it's
it don't.
100%.
Unless something, something was, as they say, garbage in, garbage out. So the garbage would have
Yeah.
had to come in from the get go, from the initial stage. So let's maybe talk a little bit about automation and, why in particular small business owners, because I have a lot of small entrepreneurs, business owners who listen to this show. And for them thinking sometimes, oh, they're so overwhelmed, a lot of things are draining their energy that they don't need to spend time focusing on. But if only they automate, life would be better for them. So let's talk about automation, some of the benefits of automation.
Oh, there are tons of benefits when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to automation. So let's say you're running a small small shop, and where you need to fulfill the products from AliExpress or some other platform, and then
Mm-hmm.
you hire a virtual assistant. So the virtual assistant is just going to buy the goods from those suppliers, then update the orders on the shopping cart software or on TrackMage, which is also possible, and then we're going to copy paste all the tracking numbers. So let's say that that assistant makes a mistake. Your customers are going to receive a notification about the package that is traveling not to their country, for example, but to a very different one. Or let's say they're using they are updating the tracking number, but there are no updates, no shipping updates at all. That also makes the customer anxious, and that's why in TrackMage we have a lot of like fail-safe services. So, for example, you don't send the customer the information about the package right away. The system is tracking when the package actually starts traveling. When you see some tracking information, then they notify the customer. I mean, the system notifies the customer.
Mm-hmm.
This prevents a lot of issues with miscommunication because, for example, when you buy from AliExpress, sometimes the suppliers they just don't ship the goods right away, or they just provide you with some kind of tracking number that is never going to travel, like it's a fake tracking number or just a mixed up one. And this way, you can always monitor that and follow up with the suppliers. But let's say you are not dealing with any of that, and you have your own product that you are selling from your garage or from anywhere, any other facility. So in that case, you will have to update all those customers and notify them about each package manually. You will have to ship every like pack every product, ship it to your logistics partner or some kind of carrier like FedEx, DHL, UPS. And then what? Then you're going to provide a tracking page from that carrier, like UPS or FedEx. Uh, the customers, they're going to be able to track the package, of course, but what is also going to happen is that once the customer gets their tracking page, they are no longer going to remember that they ordered the product from you. They're going to just say like, okay, yeah, there is some package that's coming from UPS. And that's the hidden opportunity where you can actually solidify your relationship with the customer. So instead of providing a tracking page from UPS, you can provide a tracking page from your store with your brand, with your products, and with additional offers that you want to make. So when the customer is checking the status of their package, they also see additional products they can buy. They see your social media, and they can communicate to your customer support instead of just going to UPS page and forgetting totally what product they are expecting and from which store. So that's the opportunity, and that's the kind of automation that doesn't really take that much. You set it and forget it. It's already there, and you are getting the sales on autopilot. What we've seen is that the customers convert in like from like 5 to 10%. It just fluctuates. From 5 to 10% of customers, they actually purchase the second product before receiving the first one. that's that's the opportunity.
Okay. So TrackMage really is geared towards e-commerce stores in particular, right? So that
Yes.
you save. How do you measure, or how can you measure the time that you'd save from not using TrackMage versus when you implement it into your business?
Hmm. Well, that's a great question because a lot of operations in e-commerce, they take time. For example, updating the tracking numbers and a lot of packages. If you just do it one by one, it takes like each operation probably takes like 1 minute or 2 minutes, where you just open, copy, paste, click save, go to the next one. So that's the inconvenience of most of the e-commerce platforms. In TrackMage, you just take a CSV file with all those tracking numbers against the orders, import that, da 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 da. Everything gets created in literally seconds. And then all those customers, they also receive email notifications that their product was shipped, and they should be expecting it by this date. All the tracking also gets updated automatically, so you don't have to do anything. And That's literally how it works. So instead of just going, let's say, from 100 orders, like maybe 200 minutes, which is like around 2 hours of 2.5 hours, you would be importing the CSV file, which is, I don't know, maybe 1 minute. And after that, you get all the post-purchase experience going, and you also track all the packages, and you see if something is not right, and you can reach out to the carrier or you can reach out to your supplier to fix it before the customer notices it.
So in terms of integration with existing e-commerce platforms,
Yes,
talk to us about that.
sure.
How does
So
ShopMage integrate with these?
the
Shopify, for example.
Yes, exactly. The two most robust integrations that we have currently are Shopify and WooCommerce. And we also have Zapier. So if you are using some kind of system that doesn't integrate directly with anything, but they do have integration with Zapier or they have an API, it's possible to connect it to TrackMage. And what we've seen is that also with Zapier, you have infinite possibilities for automation, where you can connect TrackMage, for example, to an Excel spreadsheet, and then all the statuses of the packages, they are going to be updated in an Excel spreadsheet. Actually, not an Excel spreadsheet, but Google spreadsheet. That's what I meant. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So in the like, there are a lot of opportunities where you can maybe, I don't know, what other interesting automations come to mind. So just sending some emails that are related to not the package itself, but something similar. In TrackMage also, since this is an international product and we were targeting international audience, all the pages, they are localized in multiple languages. So if your customer is from, I don't know, we don't support Jamaican right now, but we do support, for example, French and German. So if a customer is from Germany, you can configure the page to be in German, and all the communication also be in German. And this way you can cater to a specific audience. So with that said, like, there are a lot of possibilities for automation. You just need to understand what problems there are in the business, and then you can implement the specific automation to tackle them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm so glad this is a podcast that targets that has listeners in over 140 countries, because if we're, I know my Jamaicans are a bit mad right now, but it's okay, they'll forgive you. All right. So essentially, what TrackMage does is real-time tracking of your global shipments, right? Real
Yes.
time tracking, so you know exactly what's going on. You're seeing it right before your eyes. Irina, as we are about to wrap, kindly share with us your final thoughts as it relates to automation and why you needed to have this solution. Why you needed what was the inspiration behind this solution, and how might persons get in touch with you. So those are my two last questions for you, all
Okay.
together in one.
Great. So I could just maybe tell you the story of Metal Family. So
Mm-hmm.
this is one of our best customers. So they have a YouTube channel with 3 million subscribers, and they started selling merchandise to those subscribers. What they were not prepared for was the sheer amount of orders that they had to process after that. Because
Mm-hmm.
they thought that the batch of 10,000 comic books will sell probably in like 1 month or 2 months, but it was sold in like under 1 week. And then they had to process like 400 orders per day and ship it all over the world. And then they had to update all those tracking numbers. The post offices and the post services, they were not helping. They were extremely slow. They just literally like when the package was already delivered to the local post office, they only provided the tracking number. So that was one of those challenges where we had to step in and automate the workflow. So the first problem they had to deal with was the customers, since they were pretty immature, like the YouTube audience. They were making typos in their email addresses. And that's why they were not receiving any notifications, even about the first order being placed. So we implemented the script that you can put on your checkout or any other input where you collect emails, and that script validates if that email actually exists. If it exists, it allows it to submit. But if there is a typo, it gently nudges the user to fix the Gmail and make sure that it's gmail.com. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the first thing that we helped them with. Next thing was definitely the automation that notified customers about the packages. Uh, at that time when we stepped in, they had around 1,000 packages pending delivery, which means that they were literally staying in the post offices, and people were not coming to collect them. So we had to send those automations, and yes. So we had to notify those customers about the comic books that were at the post offices. So that reduced those 1,000 shipments that were not collected to only 45. That's the rolling average. So people still come and collect. And after that, the most important part was that previously, Metal Family wasn't asking for reviews at all. With TrackMage, the last step is when the package gets delivered, TrackMage automatically asks the customer for review. And they received the overwhelming response of 2,150 reviews from 10,000 orders. And overwhelming response was like that most of those reviews were 5 stars. And now they had this social proof that they can use in their marketing, and they can use to just literally prove that the product is good and popular.
Awesome. And how might persons get in touch with you, with the company?
Yeah, well, you can just find TrackMage on any platform of your choosing. So we're widely present on social media. So at TrackMage on like on Facebook, on Twitter, on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok. It just results in finding us. And trackmage.com. That's where you can also come and visit the website.
Awesome sauce, awesome sauce. Alrighty, alrighty. So let's thank Irina. Irina has been so insightful, straight out of Bulgaria. Irina Poddubnaia, and she has been sharing with us her experience running a fulfillment center in China. She lived there for 2 years, and she subsequently, based on her experience running that fulfillment company, created a software as a service, and she's been running TrackMage from that since that. So out of necessity is the mother of invention, they say, and out of that necessity she was able to create this software. So Kudos to you, Irina, and I wish you all the success as you continue to add your input to the realm of entrepreneurship.
Mm. Thank you very much, Hanika. Appreciate it.
Awesome sauce. And my peak performers, what has it been for you? What has been that takeaway for you? I really love the idea of, focusing on systemizing your business, focusing on ensuring that you have the things in place that will prevent you from going through burnout and just feeling stressed out over the little things, put the systems in place that are necessary. In this case, if you are an e-commerce business operator, then by all means, consider using TrackMage as part of your system to make sure your life gets easier. And I think, Irina, you had said previously, before we came on, that you have a free ebook that you want to give away. So perhaps you want to share that before I go in and just wrap.
Sure. There is a free ebook called How to Get Extra Sales from Existing Customers Without Spending More Money on Ads and Hiring More Staff. That's available at trackmage.com slash e-commerce dash flywheel. That's how you can find it. And yeah, um, I might have I might rely on you sharing the link in the notes just
Yes.
because I believe like
Yeah, man, it's also there. I'll share, but I just wanted you to kind of give some insight as well. So it's out to make 5 to 10% extra sales on autopilot without increasing your ad spend or hiring more staff. So the link is trackmage.com/flywheel dash extra dash sales. But I know this is a mouthful, so it will be in the show notes. Thanks again, Irina.
yeah. Thank you.
And thank you again, my peak performers, for tuning in. Let me hear your takeaway. I want to hear from you what has been the standout from this conversation. Um, you know, what is it that you remember from today's episode? Let me know that. Send me a feedback at henikawatkisporter.com, henikawatkisporter at gmail.com rather, or on social media at Henika Watkis-Porter. And you, of course, you remember that you can follow the podcast on your favorite podcast app. I've been encouraging you to if you are an iPhone user, then by all means use the Apple Podcast app preloaded on your phone. If you are an Android user, then by all means, what you need to do is go into the Play Store and look for podcast apps, and you'll see a myriad of them coming up, and you just select the one that resonates with you. Then you go and look for the Entrepreneurial You and hit subscribe. Yeah, that would be good. All right, according to the scriptures today, let them sacrifice thank offerings and tell of his works with songs of joy. Psalm 107, verse 22. What good. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it so much, so much. So, Irina Poddubnaia has been my guest today. And again, take care until next time. Bye bye.